All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Algo, and thanks for joining me on another morning watch list building session. I'm not feeling the greatest, sorry. I don't feel good. What a crazy couple days it's been. It has been nuts. So there's a couple things I want to do real quick. I think my news source is back, so that's good. Second thing is you guys are still continuing to reach out. I really, really appreciate it. I've spoken to some of you about what's going on, and so y'all have a better idea of kind of what's going on. So what I'm doing is I'm really trying to structure things in a way that I can commit to doing this again every single morning. It's just getting a bunch of other ducks in a row. It's not the morning stream. It's everything that comes after it. So I just need to make sure that's planned out well, and I can come back to doing this. So here's the other thing too. I have to wear these now. Yeah, I realized I wasn't able to quite see as good as I used to be. Put these on, I'm like, oh wow. So yeah, that candle's going down, not going up. Yeah, I'm just kidding. But for real, the market is in a sense. It's just there's a lot of panic going on right now, and the Fed's done a really good job of taking everything away. What I'm talking about is this. Let's look at Carvana for a second, because it's probably the antithesis of what the Fed did for the beer bug. And we're going to look at it on the 24-minute chart. Yes, sir. And we're going to look at it. Where's my full screen? Oh, whatever that was. Full screen. And let's just go ahead and reset that and bring it back. You know what? Let's look at the daily, because the daily is just a very sharp illustration of exactly what's happening today. So, what do you see here? You see a stock that on COVID lows was at, I don't know, $25. The Fed ran it all the way up with quantitative easing to over $373. August 5th, 2021, the stock was trading at $370. Imagine if you had bought this dip right here, 240, even bought the dip at 224. So in 1 year, you went up, right? You went from 217 to 372, right? $260 something in a year, right? And then from that time to this time, you gave it all back, and even more, because the Fed's going to step in. It's got to go back up. The mentality of this COVID market high has affected so many people that people are bag holding when they shouldn't be, right? Carvana's one, what LMND, right? Look at that. Talk about a horrible time to IPO. If you're an investor and you're in your lockup period, right? And you get this little pullback and a little bit of a rally, and you buy everything you possibly can, have it shoot up, and then get dumped over the next 3 months. So, all right. With that being said, I have my news source is back. They told me that they would send me a newsletter every morning of the news, right? And they did, and I'm really excited about that. So we do have some news to cover, and I'm going to get through this as quickly as possible because I need to get into your plays so I can get those to you. Because I'm probably going to go back to bed here because I've got a little bit of a cold. All right. Anyway, Apple's in news. Their supplier Foxconn warns of slowing demand and supply chain issues partly due to COVID lockdowns in China, warned that current quarter revenue for its electronic business, including smartphones, could slip as growth slowed and amid raising inflation, cooling demand, and escalating supply chain issues. Remember, we talk about supply and demand all the time, right? Apple. So I showed you what happened with Carvana, right? We need to really I don't see a future where Apple gets, you know, um, COVID lows again. That would be an insane amount of money for a tech giant to give away. But if I think about it, I have to realize Apple was trading at highs at 82 before the beer bucket. Oh, all right. So let's just go into every chart with the thought of they can take it lower. Okay. So negative news out for Apple. I think Apple's gonna have a down day. Just panicking. There's panic all over the place. So there's just Disney. Disney's in the news. Looks like a Disney. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at what is Disney? DIS, right? Looking for large multi-year corporations, right? And I think a lot of people are doing that. They're starting to shift into, yes, it's tech sector, but it's also a company that's not going to be zero by the time they're done with it. All right. Disney second quarter EPS earnings yesterday, baby. There we go. A nice little pop up above the 200 and immediately chop and dropped it. Okay, EPS at 108 versus 119, so they missed on revenue. Or they missed on earnings per share. Revenue was down by almost $750 million, and quarter end Disney Plus paid subscriptions 137, estimated 134. So right in line with what happened with Netflix. Their paid subscriptions are up, but their revenue's down. So again, this is a big move for Disney, right? That's a $8 move. They usually only move about a couple dollars a day. So all right. Excuse me. Consumer news, Beyond Meat had earnings. Q1 EPS loss of 1.58 versus $1. So they missed on earnings per share. Revenues were down $3 million. Sees their forward-looking revenues at 560 to 620. Says operating environment continues to be affected by near-term uncertainty due to macroeconomic issues. You're gonna start hearing that word a lot, macroeconomic. So we'll get into it a little bit more throughout the next couple weeks. Rivian EPS at 177, negative 177 versus 144. So they missed on their earnings per share, negative, and they lost more than they thought. Q revenues at 138 million versus 122, so they beat. They got a little bit of strength in revenue. Said that they're about 5,000 vehicles produced since the start of production, more than 90,000 R1 pre-orders in U.S. and Canada, reaffirming annual guidance, and says believes supply chain constraints will continue to be a limiter factor in production. Ford also, these two move real similar. They're starting to move a little bit closer. Ford downgraded it underweight from overweight at Wells Fargo, cut the price target to 12 from 24, and boom, Ford, you just got slashed in half. Imagine that, waking up to your Ford stock, right, that at the beginning of the year was making all-time highs, gapping and rallying. I remember people saying, let's buy into Ford. I'm like, wait a minute, $22 a share, that's a lot for Ford. They're back down to what, 12? It's been brutal. They're brutal. Yes, more downside. And let's see. All right. So in world news, the Fed's Bullard says 50 BP interest rate rises at coming meetings, a good benchmark for now. Inflation is more persistent than we have. Inflation is more persistent than many have thought. 50 BPS hikes at coming meetings is a good benchmark for now. The goal should be about 3.5% on Fed funds rate by the end of the year. He's also the one that said 75 last time. So just okay. All right. After the close, earnings today include Affirm, which is another one of those that is probably going to become a penny stock. And the process. So here's the. Remember this happened last time. I'm like, hey, I can't wait for the next time we get massive pullbacks. I'm gonna invest all this money. Well, unfortunately, through a series of events, I'm not very cash heavy right now. Yeah. So you're gonna have to figure that out. We're gonna look at Bitcoin here in a second. Other earnings after the close include MSI, Nibard Air, Posh. Remember Posh? One of those 300, 400% rallies in a day. Yes, no longer. Alrighty, and so eco calendar for today. We've got jobless claims coming in. This should be in by now. Let's see what we got. Oh, they're coming in a couple minutes. All right, so PPI, core PPI, and unemployment claims at 8:30, 10:30 natty gas storage. 101, the 30-year bond auction. Watch that. That's going to move the market. So yeah, let's see what else. All right, to summarize, let me get this over here and I'll pop it over on the 3-minute chart so we can see what's really happening. That is a nasty move. 3924, 3891. 50-point move overnight on the ES. Sketchy sketch. All right, to summarize, unrelenting selling pressure continues overnight, with the U.S. futures extending declines, which has left the NASDAQ Composite and the Russell 2000 down roughly 30% from all-time highs, right? In the first 90 trading days of the year, only one worse in 1932, right? We're down 26%. Y'all remember what happened in 1932, the Great Depression? Yes, sir. Sketchy. Okay. This is happening amid an obliteration of technology and communication services that paced market gains for the last 2 years. Apple closes down 5.2% Thursday, the lowest since October 15th. The Dow falls for the 5th straight session, posting its longest losing streak since mid-February. The slide on Wednesday came after another hot inflation reading as consumer price index CPI inflation surged to a higher than expected 8.3% in April, holding near 40-year highs at 8.5 in March as the Fed Reserve scrambles to cool the economy. Remember we talked about that hard landing and that soft landing, right? Where the Fed is trying to do a soft landing. What that does is it opens up the doors for these multi-billion-dollar hedge funds to short stocks like Carvana, Affirm, right? Knowing that they don't have the infrastructure and they're not really at a valuation where they can support the hefty $300 per share target. Okay. Yes, we are being bent over. It's true. All right, let's see what we got here. Today, let's see, up to date, April producer price index data with estimates to show another spike in prices. Dow component Disney slides to below the $100 level after earnings, tempered outlook. Asian markets, the Nikkei index dropped 464 points. Bay, you fell down and bumped your knees, didn't you? 1.7% drop overnight. Big drop for Nikkei index. Shanghai index slipped a few points. Hang Seng declines for 440 points. Jeez. In Europe, the picture looks just as bleak as the DAX falls 320 points or 2.3%, the 13,000 to 13,500. Oh, it's going to be a rough day. While the FTSE 100 is down over 2.5% or 184 points, crypto assets are again in free fall with Bitcoin down 3.5% to 27,355. It fell as low as 25,000 before it bounced. Ethereum's down 8%. Litecoin's down 11%, and Tether, which is the third largest crypto after Bitcoin and Ether, traded as low as 95 cents on the dollar every or early Thursday, it's selling around 98 cents according to its data. The dollar is up 0.5% above 104.4 as the euro slides. Further rotation into safe haven bonds has pushed the 10-year yield lower by 8 BPS to 2.82%, roughly 40 BPS off of the week's highs, above 3.2% as investors flee to safety. The 30-year is down 7 BPS to 293. All right, so this is going to be a very good example of our bottom row down, top row up. That's the way we like to make money. Instead, we're going to get lit up. Gonna get lit up. All right. Remember I talked about this yen, and I was like, oh, the yen is continuing to push down. Oh, the yen is being pushed down. Oh, the yen is being pushed down. Uh-oh. The yen's starting to climb. This is like, I don't even know what to call it. It's scary when the yen is up. All right, ZB. TLT is back in play, baby. Look at that move over this week. 136, 140. Crude, not a safe haven, right? What's safe havens? Gold, right? Bonds. Where I said if gold gave up that trend line, it was going to continue to go back. All right, so just looking at things overall. Waiting for my data to load on these two here. Looks like the Russell will try to make a move today. So fleeing into small caps, right? They're not fleeing small caps. What they're doing is they're building and breaking off the section. Hopefully that noise will be gone. Okay. My volume's really low. My bad. I didn't even look at the stupid chat. I'm slacking. Let's get that volume fixed so y'all can hear me. Like I said, just not feeling 100%. So little things like that are definitely going to slip my notice. All right. So what I was saying is the Russell's going to try to make a move. It's attempting to take over its 50-day and it's 200. So Russell above, if the Russell can break, I mean, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be probably the top of the move. 17.14 on Russell. Right. Let's just do this. I'm going to burn through these so I can get to your plays. Probably just going to do a couple looks at it. All right. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're new, just make sure that you turn your chart upside down if you've only played bullish moves in your life. Right. So what I'm seeing here is fire line. Right. Remember this cluster down here that I was like, oh, no, we don't hit this one. Yeah, it's a 382, a 618, and a snow line. So my target for ES, right, before we get any relief, would be another couple down days. Looking at 38, 31. If we had this move today, that would be the extent of the move, and I think they might buy the dip right there. That lines up with where? Y'all remember when we were playing in February of last year? Like, it's never going to break 3,800. Right? Well, 3,860. Okay, it's not going to hit 4,000. I don't think it really struggled at 4,000 for too long, right? It just kind of ripped up through it. So, again, this standard deviation line is up on the ES for a specific reason. If this is the mean, we're trading at 1.5 standard deviations away from the mean. Imagine take a rubber band, put it between two fingers like this, and pull. Right? When you start getting out here, this is 1.5, 2 standard deviations, right? It begins to get a lot of reverse gravity, for lack of a better word. Or if you're pushing a water balloon down in a bathtub, right? you get up to about your arm, right? It's starting to get a lot more pressure pushing back upwards. So what we're looking at is we're looking at the key levels. Lots of consolidation, right? Lots of several days here, pullback, big rip, pullback, just a little bit of recovery, right around the 38.16 to 38.50 level. I think that's a pretty solid downside target. For our charts like that, we're not anywhere near. Let's see. Trying to figure where the 2150 is. 2150. I really did think we were going to bounce off of this level here, right? But I do guess the 382.618 makes more sense than 382 by itself. So this is a 618 retracement from the big move up. So we did come down and hit our this gives me a little bit better view. All right, I don't want these ones out there anymore. Too much stuff. All right, so we did hit 50% retracement off of that move that I talked about. So So short trend line, we're right. We've never we're using the look at the 30-minute 21 as your guide, right? If we can get a couple closes above that, I think it might be a little bit short. We might be a pop for a nice little rally over the next couple days. We've already tested it twice this morning. We couldn't get back above it, and we're pushing down to about the low 1 area on our quants, right, for the day. They started coming in and defending those levels. Below that, we've got the low 2, which would be probably the rest of the day's move. Like I said, down to 38.40, 38.31. Just this block area here. Let me show you. Let me draw it. Right there. Right, it's our downside target. Contrarian, I'm completely wrong. Right, we rip back up to the snow line. We get back up to the low 2 for the week, I think it is, and we rally up and retest the 200. It's getting above the 50. So longs above 39.50. It's about a move to about 4,000, right? And then shorts would be anything 38.45 and below, right? I know it's really a 5-point move is really tight, but y'all can see what I'm thinking, right? We get a little bit of a buy the dip mentality to get back above the 21. We hit the 50-day, maybe get above it for a minute, but then we realize the 50-day is not where we need to base off of. We need to come back down to this 38.39 or 38.20 level. Okay. All right, next up, looking at NASDAQ. NASDAQ still upset. I don't have a lump of cash to throw at these mega caps that are so cheap right now. Alrighty, here we go. Alright, fib levels. Target acquired 1414. Next target will be the 1618. Way down here. This fire line should hold this though. So the fire line is from a support and resistance level. The fire line has got more weight than these snow lines, right? Or this this fib extension, this one move. The fire line is as the price action as a whole. All right. That's weird. All right. So look at that target acquired. That 1414 is money. I'll tell you what. All right, same deal. I think any remember I was like, oh, rally to 21. It doesn't get closed above it. I got May the 4th and we started selling up. It's about time for us to retest that. All right, there is a lot going on here. Let me get rid of some of this crap. I'm gonna get down to the 30-minute chart. I can't see anything. All right, daily H1. We're hitting daily H2 now. That 1414 is. I mean, that's where we stopped. Come on, not that good. 11,979.50. We have a little bit of support down here at this fire line, which is 11879, 11783. The H1, the low one, sorry, for this weekly move. They could push it down here. Weekly move. Machines come and start buying it. They look. The machine looks around and says, "What else is near me? I got a fire line. I got some previous resistor. We got a previous level here. I think this may be a good level to base." So in Q, do we get a pop back up to the 0 line, which would be 12,209, 21-day, 50-day incoming? Do we get a pop back up to there, and then they push further down? They may, or they may just melt it off the entire day as people begin to panic, or continue to panic. Sorry. All right. Next up on our list is the Dow. Need to hurry up. Really need to hurry. Did you guys see that little blip? Look at that. It's a perfect illustration of ooh crap. This is possible. Like, I'm not even joking. 2950 to 18,200 in a course of a couple of weeks. Yes, it can happen. Again, 0 line for the entire COVID rally, or beer bug rally, sorry. Currently trading at 1 standard deviation away from this mean. Excuse me, 1.5. Okay. It usually likes to chill within 1, so it's definitely feeling the pain. Look at that rounding pattern here. All right. Digress. All right, downside target for the dilly dally Dow is, I think that this half deviation line is going to be stronger than this snow line, but I like the previous support at 31169 downside target. Let me just confirm that with my 4-hour and my 30-minute. So all this fib stuff I did is no longer valid. Get that out of there. And we're trapped in between 2 moguls. Let me see what's going on with this. All right, point of control, 30-minute point of control is going to be 3157 or 597. Value area low is 31518. Trapped in between 2 mogul lines. These two purple lines, right? Looks like all right. There's that Tesla 21. All right, so up. Tesla 21 didn't make it. Tesla 21 didn't make it. I think on the 3rd, or if we get to a 3rd or 4th attempt of the 21 and we don't make it, I think that that's going to say a lot, and there's going to be a lot of people just playing. Downside target would be 31175. You got the 50-day coming in at yesterday's high, which was 31,893. Above that, we have the 200-day previous snow line, 32122. So upside targets would be 32122 on some closes above 31,854 for people's purposes, right? Downside, we reject the 21 one more time. Break down below, make a new low. I think we fall down to at least this snow line. All right, next up is the red-headed Russell. All right. Fire lines are magnets. Remember I told you that when we're stuck in the middle? We have a magnet on both sides. Which way is it going to go? The downside. Okay. All right, ready to Russell did again make a new low. It is trading at its fire line support, not so key level support. Fire lines don't get hit very often. Again, another choppy day yesterday. Looked like a little bit of a rally to retest the 21. We did not make it. And the gravitational pull of this fire line pulled us back down to it. Okay. From a 30-minute perspective, which kind of gives me like, oh, hey, this is the direction I'm going to trade for today, right? This fib is garbage. We don't need that anymore. That trend line may come back into play. Fire line being super important, but we need to see what happens with this 21 at this fire line. If it can start bouncing here, then it can pull price back up with it. Looking kind of like a little rounding top, maybe a little sloping down, and we get this really rounded head, inverted head and shoulders. So with the Russell, I want to see two closes, right, above the 21, which is 1714. And that could set us up for a move up to 1725, where the 50-day will be meeting us at. We get a couple closes above the 50-day, and we take out this gnarly little supply zone right there. We take that out, then I think we can get big papas into this next model line and potentially this trend line of resistance. Contrarian, we reject that to 21. And where's our next downside target? We've got some moguls that we can consolidate in between. Then we've got a snow line down here. This would be the next, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, next LA wave down. All right. And let's just get into your plays. Again, I'm not feeling the greatest. Real quick, I will go over crude, bonds. Don't do this to me. Super load. All right, let's do this. All right, smart money, dark pool, block trade algorithm software provided by FlowTrade. It's the flow index. Also, for those of you that have not signed up and just want to hang out and chat with me all the time, FlowTrade has a new server for FlowTrade Lite. Yes, it is about a quarter of the notifications it's about a quarter of the effort that the FlowTrade Pro traders put into the FlowTrade main Discord. The Lite Discord just kind of shows you what we're about and what we do. If you're interested in that, let me know. I'll make sure that I can start handing out links next week. Be aware, you will be asked why you don't have a membership from me. I will ask you, why don't you have one? And then you can tell me, I don't have the money for it. And I can be like, all right, cool, bro, I understand. But we need to at least have a conversation about it. Okay. The flow index is this purple squiggly line you see here. That is the flow index algorithm. It tracks smart money, dark pools, block trades, hedge funds, large institutions. It tracks what they're doing. And a lot of times what they're doing is different than price actions, right? They're not retail. They can't react and they can't move as quickly, because when you're dropping multi-million-dollar orders, you can't just slap the ass, because what will happen is immediately price will run up and down the DOM. I don't know if you've ever seen like a price tree, right, or active sales, right, active trader, or what, I can't remember what it's called. I don't use it very often. Time and sells. You'll see the order go up and grab all the liquidity above it and below it, and cause other traders to come into it. And at the end of the day, what will happen is those traders coming in are trying to bid for a lower price, because you always want to buy low and sell high, right? So it'll eventually push the price down because there's no liquidity to support where smart money got in on that big buy the ask, right? What will happen is the price will settle at a lower position than when smart money got into it. So they're into a negative position already, and they don't want to do that. So what they do is they scale into these positions over time using block trades, right, that we're aware of. And what that looks like is like this IGV, right? I don't even know what this is, but overall, excuse me, overall, smart money's been net buying, right? They'll buy some, they'll sell some off, they'll buy some more and sell some off. Meanwhile, price is coming down. And so what they want to do is they want to meet price at a good value. They're buying slowly. They're buying to here. They have a good value. Their average is probably somewhere in here already, right? Just a little slightly higher maybe. And then as soon as they're in there and they start selling out of these positions, right? They're selling you these shares that they bought for 300 and they're buying, you're buying for 280, right? So they're making $20 profit. We look for divergence like this, right? And that divergence means that, oh, hey, they've driven price down far enough, right? It needs to revert to the point of divergence and the flow index, and then it can start its next cycle. So, just real quick overview what's going on. Excuse me. My stomach is just not settled. I think I have ulcers now. It's just been weird. All right, Coca-Cola, Micron, and Snow. So Snow is probably another good one of those examples of a company that has no business being evaluated as much as it does, and that it was pure retail pumpity pump. I took place in it. I heard about it. Coca-Cola, the staple. Everybody should own Coca-Cola. Mr. Warren Buffett loves Coca-Cola so much, he owns a lot of it. KO is, what is KO? Not Coca-Cola. Is that alt? Oh, shoot, hold on. It's KO. It is Coca-Cola. Shit, I was right. Okay. Coca-Cola is a staple. Everybody should own it, right? It is trading, it moves probably a couple dollars a day, $1 to $2. But look at this cluster of dark pools. Dark pools coming in at 64.30, 31, 33, 64.20. Okay. This divergence, let's see. Pretty close, I'd say this divergence maybe traded out. Price made a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then fizzled, retraced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, K. Keep an eye on this flow index. It's got a little bit of a cupping happening right here. If it can move up and deviate from price action, it should start pulling price back up to where it was at. It looks like, this is what I'm seeing, right? Let's just pretend, bear with me for a second. Let's pretend Coca-Cola is the SPY. And this is a big COVID drop. Since then, we rallied. We hit a level and we sold off. From there, we rallied. And guess what? Then we sold off. We're somewhere about right here in the scheme of things, right? I don't know if we get a big, massive, whoopsie, weird candle, right? And then we chop. Right, this could be this pattern that we're in right here, this up and down, and then up, and then down, chop, and then failure, and then working reversal. So I think that this is a good pulse for what is happening. Okay, just, little tinfoil hat theory there. Okay, as far as Coca-Cola goes, the flow index, let's see, price is moving up, they're selling into that position, right? Deviation is at its peak at this level here, and from then price starts moving back towards the flow index. Little areas of deviation have occurred, more. All right, I would say this deviation or this divergence has traded out, and now this new divergence is going to be trading out as well. Watch for price to come down and make a new low as it crosses through the flow index. And then you get a period of the flow index on top of price. So I think I haven't traded Coke in a long time, but which one of you smart Alex is gonna be like, bro, you don't trade Coke, you feel it. Don't do that, it's bad. It's a joke though. It's a joke. It's a joke. All right, so health perspective, not bad. We have not been able to close above the 21 for several days now, and we are just chilling at the 4-hour mid. Actually, the monthly top. Okay, from a cycle perspective, we've got a lot going on. We have a rising 50-day. Our moving averages are still stacked positively. We're starting to get a revert, the acceleration cycle off of the MACD. So today, what's going to happen with football? Again, I'm not going to trade it until this 3-minute price action is above this red line here, which is a 200, preferably above the blue line, and then we can go long. So I think it reaches back to hit 65.20, right? That sounds like, it looks like that's the range with 64.60 being the mean. So 4-hour mid, 4-hour top, right? Which is also the weekly top. I think we reject that, and then maybe we do a little bit more consolidation. All right, next up on the list was, oh my gosh, dude, I'm like acid reflux like mother right now. Oh, it's killing me. All right, Micron. Thought this was a 1-minute chart there for a minute. I was like, wow, that's a lot of movement. Chilling at a regular block that came in close yesterday at 66.97. The flow index came down with it and then stopped. Looks like it may try to make one of these moves here where it pulls back up. There's a lot of overhead resistance and targets. Looks like around 70 is the mean. If the flow index can pull this stock up, that would be my price target. Below that, I would look at 65 as support. Below 65, $5 increments go to 60, right? From 70 goes to 75, but I think it's going to be stuck in this range for a little bit without really looking at the chart. Let's check it out. All right, so big rally up to 34, rejected that. Closed above 21, couldn't get back above 13, got above 13, couldn't get above the 21. Finally got above the 21, got stuck by the 4-hour. Okay, so we're at the 4-hour bottom, daily bottom. I think so. We've already made a new low. Daily bottom, daily mid, daily top, or do they push us through the daily bottom? When they pushed us down to the 4-hour bottom, we immediately rejected that and rallied, right? So on the daily, they pushed us down to now the top of the daily Keltner channel, where we can easily rally. Okay, if we make a new low, right? If we start closing below pre-market lows, then let's look at the bottom, right? It should be the bottom of the daily is 64.10. Below that, we have support at 63.26. If we start getting closes below that with some conviction on the daily, then we may move just down here to this 57 without a problem. I need to change this to a different mucho better. All right, there it is. Living color. Just kiss the top of that daily. So, like I said, we can move down to 65.25, which is a 4-hour cloud bottom. Below that, then it's going to, it's a quick, easy flush to 64.19. We start taking that out on this 24-minute chart, then the next step down is going to be that 63.20. Below that, it's going to be free fall, and yeah, I think they may need to I think this next retest the 21. So long above 66.80 for a move back up to 70, and it's going to be a big move, but it could possibly happen. All right, that's it for Micron. Next up on the list is what we got here. What am I doing? All right, I'm gonna do a couple more quickly, and then I do gotta go. So, Snow Spy, right? Snow Spy. Snow. If we were trading at any other time in the last 2 years, where we have got this gorgeous divergence and this strong influx of the flow index, and knowing how Snow is kind of one of those social media stocks, right? Wall Street bets type stocks, has the ability to make big pops, big runs in a day, right? It's trading at 240 2 weeks ago, now trading at 132. It's lost $100 per share. Investors are panicking, right? They're like, where's my glorious investment is trash, right? Well, it is. So that divergence played out, consolidating divergence here. Right? We got some divergence there for sure. And I like that level 165. Let's see if that's traded out. I don't believe it has. Trading with price. So double bottom, but this is also that it's not an H-shaped pattern, right? Because when we do an H, it's bearish, right? This is more of a sharp V. So this could be the beginning of a Wu-Tang reversal, with this being the 1, 2, 3, 4 up to here, and then 5 going into the move up to play out this divergence. Contrarian. If this really is an H and we take out previous lows, then we need to look at a downside target of Snow. Free fall, baby. All right, we did make that new low, so we did take it out. What I liked, so we came down, we went up, and we tried to get a move back up, the 4-hour and the 30.21, and this inertia that was pushing us down we couldn't get broken through. So now I would look for a back test of 132.51, right? So rally to the 21 to 4-hour bottom, rejection, push down to monthly cloud top at 120. Okay, contrarian is going to take a lot of work, but we would have to get back. We'd have to start closing consistently above 133.25, and then we would have immediate overhead resistance at 135.50, followed by previous highs at 138.54 as we move up to the hourly top, 141. Okay, but based on we're looking for one of these kind of moves to take place today, right here. This one. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't think the market can support it. Alrighty, next up and final one for the day is SPY, and thanks for bearing with me. I'm sorry I was late this morning. I am really doing my best to make sure that this is important to me. I love doing this. Like, I've done it every day for the last 3 years straight. All right, this is my wake up. This is what I do for the day. It's been a good mood. I get to interact with y'all, help y'all out. It's hard on me not to do this. It really is. So I miss it. All right. Spiggity SPY. Alrighty there. What do we got here? Alright, so we do have a little bit of divergence, right? This is a pretty symmetrical angle of ascent, right, with smart money, which means it looks like they're buying at the same rate and frequency, as they did. Oh, are you kidding me right now? Seriously, I can only draw one line? Just stop already. Alright. They look to be buying into this falling position at about the same rate and consistency as they have been for the last couple of weeks. Okay. We needed to clear the board, right? Smart money's like, well, you know what? Let's just restart. Okay. So they dumped out from there. Oh, we're buying the dip, We can get up. Resistance, new resistance is 430 for SPY, right? Coming down. Oh, we're going to get better. Nope, we're going to gap down and continue to sell off. Fleeting glances throughout yesterday, a lot of choppy consolidation. This is a new low. Okay, so what I see is we have a white line in SPY at 399. That's going to be the upside target until we get closes above it. because that psychological level is huge. Is SPY, really worth $400 per share? Or is it more of a $300 per share? Okay. So until then, 400, 350, right? 400, 450, in just generalized terms. Oh, we're heading towards 350. Okay, let's get a little bit more finite with it. Do we have anything on the way down? Well, we're gonna have lots of stuff on the way down, right? That's fine, especially. Okay. All this Fibonacci worthless fibs. Worthless fibs. Okay, what's going on with our kelp cycles? Oh moly! 15-minute. The 15-minute kelp cycle on SPY can pay you money, right? Because you catch it off the bottom of the 15, move to the mid, scale out, so in case it comes back down to the bottom, and then you leave a runner in case it runs to the top, right? Bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom. Lots of easy. It's just a good time frame. All right. So unfortunately, being that we don't have any other support below the 4-hour kelp until we hit the monthly bottom, which is 372, unless SPY can close above snowline, unless SPY can close above its snowline at 390, right, and do the 15-minute bottom, 15-minute mid, 15-minute top cycle. So bottom to mid with 390, right? Probably a little bit of a rally to retest the 15 top 392, possibly 390, 275, and then back to support if the 390 level is going to be the base. If 390 is going to be the base, then we have an up cycle, and one back down, 390 is going to be the base, and we get another move back up, making a new high, targeting 393. I think that we may close there. So contrarian though, right? So let's just say big boys are like, nope, SPY needs to be cheaper, right? Everything needs to be cheaper. We need. There's no stability. These are not valued correctly, right? That means that we get a dip, 388, pre-market low of day, right? And either a rip back up to test the 21 with retail, and then another move back down, right, to, I don't even know. I want to say long-term 370, right? Another 18-point drop over the next couple of weeks. Today, yeah, so like I said, do we rally up to the 2134 and get back into this 4-hour Keltner channel cycle, or do we reject? Is this the rejection that it just happened and then it's the next moves down? Slingshot squeeze. Things are starting to curl back around. Targets, like I said, initial above this white line, which is 390, move up to the market high, 392, and possibly the 30-minute Keltner channel top, which is the hourly mid at 395. That's a big move. Right? That'd be a big old cup behind, a big old cup happening, and then setting handle and being super fun tomorrow. All right, that's it for me. I do got to run. Thanks for joining me. I am Darkful Algo. Johnny, I'll get you the link. Let me just confirm that I can start inviting people. Let me get the link. You did see. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Freaky Lotto Friday. I've got a little money in my trading account, and we're gonna do some lottos on Friday. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out the door, and stay safe, stay green, and we'll see you